The Treasure of Treasures for Alchemists by Paracelsus, Elite Mind Manifest Edition, with an exclusive foreword and insightful annotations. The original text, The Treasure of Treasures for Alchemists by Paracelsus, is in the public domain. The Elite Mind Manifest Edition, including the exclusive foreword, annotations, design, and formatting, is copyright 2025 by Elite Mind Manifest. All rights reserved. No part of this edition may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, photocopying, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the publisher, except in the case of brief quotations used in critical articles or reviews. Elite Mind Manifest is dedicated to publishing works that elevate human consciousness, restore timeless wisdom, and inspire mastery of self and spirit. To transmute is to reign. The inner gold precedes the outer kingdom. Elite Mind Manifest. For the seekers, adepts, and hidden emperors who dare to extract light from the shadows and gold from the depths of matter. Foreword. Paracelsus, rebel, physician, alchemist, stands as one of the fiercest voices of the Renaissance. The Treasure of Treasures for Alchemists is not merely a manual of spagyric operations, but a declaration of intellectual independence against the dogmas of Galen and Avicenna. Here we glimpse the fiery defiance of a mind that placed nature above tradition, and experimentation above empty authority. In this Elite Mind Manifest edition, we present Paracelsus not as a relic of antiquity, but as a living guide for modern seekers of transformation. His mineral allegories, his red and green lines, his aurum potable, are points to this eternal work, the transmutation of the self. May you read not only with the eyes, but with the inner sight of the alchemist. What is hidden in the earth is also hidden in you. The treasure of treasures is not buried beneath mountains, but in the depths of your own being. The Treasure of Treasures for Alchemists by Philippus Theophrastus Bombast, who is Paracelsus the Great. Nature begets a mineral in the bowels of the earth. There are two kinds of it, which are found in many districts of Europe. The best which has been offered to me, which also has been found genuine in experimentation, is externally in the figure of the greater world, and is in the eastern part of the sphere of the sun. The other, in the southern star, is now in its first efflorescence. The bowels of the earth thrust this forth through its surface. It is found red in its first coagulation, and in it lie hid all the flowers and colors of the minerals. Much has been written about it by the philosophers, for it is of a cold and moist nature, and agrees with the element of water. So far as it relates to the knowledge of it and experiment with it, all the philosophers before me, though they have aimed at it with their missiles, have gone very wide of the mark. They believe that mercury and sulfur were the mother of all metals, never even dreaming of making mention meanwhile of a third. And yet when the water is separated from it by its spagyric art, the truth is plainly revealed, though it was unknown to Galen or to Avicenna. But if, for the sake of our excellent physicians, we had to describe only the name, the composition, the dissolution, and coagulation, as in the beginning of the world nature proceeds with all growing things, a whole year would scarcely suffice me, and, in order to explain these things, not even the skins of numerous cows would be adequate. Now, I assert that in this mineral are found three principles, which are mercury, sulfur, and the mineral water which has served to naturally coagulate it. Spagyric science is able to extract this last from its proper juice when it is not altogether matured, in the middle of the autumn, just like a pear from a tree. The tree potentially contains the pear. If the celestial stars in nature agree, the tree first of all puts forth shoots in the month of March. Then it thrusts out buds. And when these open, the flower appears, and so on in due order until in autumn the pear grows ripe. So is it with the minerals. These are born, in like manner, in the bowels of the earth. Let the alchemists who are seeking the treasure of treasures carefully note this. I will shew them the way, in its beginning, its middle, and its end. In the following treatise I will describe the proper water, the proper sulfur, and the proper balm thereof. By means of these three, the resolution and composition are coagulated into one. Concerning the sulfur of cinnabar. Take mineral cinnabar and prepare it in the following manner. Cook it with rainwater in a stone vessel for 3 hours. Then purify it carefully and dissolve it in aqua regis, which is composed of equal parts of vitriol, nitre, and salmiac. Another formula is vitriol, saltpeter, alum, and common salt. Distill this in an alembic. Pour it on again and separate carefully the pure from the impure thus. Let it putrefy for a month in horse dung, then separate the elements in the following manner. If it puts forth its sign, commence the distillation by means of an alembic with a fire of the first degree. The water and the air will ascend. The fire and the earth will remain at the bottom. Afterwards, join them again, and gradually treat with the ashes. So the water and the air will again ascend first, and afterwards the element of fire, which expert artists recognize. The earth will remain in the bottom of the vessel. This collect there. It is what many seek after and few find. This dead earth and the reverberatory you will prepare according to the rules of art, and afterwards add fire of the first degree for 5 days and nights. When these have elapsed, you must apply the second degree for the same number of days and nights, and proceed according to art with the material enclosed. At length you will find a volatile salt, like a thin alkali, containing in itself the astrum of fire and earth. Mix this with the 2 elements that have been preserved, the water and the earth. Again, place it on the ashes for 8 days and 8 nights, and you will find that which has been neglected by many artists. Separate this according to your experience, and according to the rules of the spagyric art, and you will have a white earth from which its color has been extracted. Join the element of fire and salt to the alkalized earth, digest in a pelican to extract the essence. Then a new earth will be deposited, which put aside. Concerning the red lion. Afterwards, take the lion and the pelican, which also is found at first. When you see its tincture, that is to say, the element of fire which stands above the water, the air, and the earth, separate it from its deposit by trituration. Thus you will have the true aurum potabile. Sweeten this with the alcohol of wine poured over it, and then distill in an alembic until you perceive no acidity to remain in the aqua regia. This oil of the sun, enclosed in a retort hermetically sealed, you must place for elevation that it may be exalted and doubled in its degree. Then put the vessel, still closely shut, in a cool place. Thus it will not be dissolved, but coagulated. Place it again for elevation and coagulation, and repeat this 3 times. Thus will be produced the tincture of the sun, perfect in its degree. Keep this in its own place. Concerning the green lion. Take the vitriol of Venus, carefully prepared according to the rules of spagyric art, and add thereto the elements of water and air which you have reserved. Resolve, and set to putrefy for a month according to instructions. When the putrefaction is finished, you will behold the sign of the elements. Separate, and you will soon see 2 colors, namely white and red. The red is above the white. The red tincture of the vitriol is so powerful that it reddens all white bodies and whitens all red ones, which is wonderful. Work upon this tincture by means of a retort, and you will perceive a blackness issue forth. Treat it again by means of the retort, repeating the operation until it comes out whitish. Go on, and do not despair of the work. Rectify until you find the true, clear green lion, which you will recognize by its great weight. You will see that it is heavy and large. This is the tincture, transparent gold. You will see marvelous signs of this green lion, such as could be bought by no treasures of the Roman Leo. Happy he who has learnt how to find it and use it for a tincture. This is the true and genuine balsam, the balsam of the heavenly stars, suffering no bodies to decay, nor allowing leprosy, gout, or dropsy to take root. It is given in a dose of 1 grain, if it has been fermented with the sulfur of gold. Ah, Charles the German, where is your treasure? Where are your philosophers? Where are your doctors? Where are your ducatos of the woods, who at least purge and relax? Is your heaven reversed? Have your stars wandered out of their course, and are they straying in another orbit, away from the line of limitation, since your eyes are spinning with blindness, as by a carbuncle, and other things making a show of ornament, beauty, and pomp? If your artist only knew that their Prince Galen, they call none like him, was sticking in hell, from whence he has sent letters to me, they would make the sign of the cross upon themselves with a fox's tail. In the same way your Avicenna sits in the vestibule of the infernal portal, and I have disputed with him about his aurum potabilior, his tincture of the philosophers, his quintessence and philosopher's stone, his mithridactic, his theoriac, and all the rest. Oh, you hypocrites, who despise the truths taught to you by a true physician, who is himself instructed by nature, and is a son of God himself. Come, then, and listen, impostors who prevail only by the authority of your high positions. After my death, my disciples will burst forth and drag you to the light, and shall expose your dirty drugs, where up to this time you have compassed the death of princes and the most invincible magnates of the Christian world. Woe for your necks in the day of judgment. I know that the monarchy will be mine. Mine, too, will be the honor and glory. Not that I praise myself. Nature praises me. Of her I am born, her I follow. She knows me, and I know her. The light which is in her I have beheld in her. Outside, too, I have proved the same in the figure of the microcosm, and found it in that universe. But I must proceed with my design in order to satisfy my disciples to the full extent of their wish. I willingly do this for them. If only skilled in the light of nature and thoroughly practiced in astral matters, they finally become adepts in philosophy, which enables them to know the nature of every kind of water. Take, then, of this liquid of the minerals which I have described, 4 parts by weight, of the earth of red soul, 2 parts, of sulfur of soul, 1 part. Put these together into a pelican, congle it, and dissolve them 3 times. Thus you will have the tincture of the alchemists. We have not here described its weight, but this is given in the book on transmutations. So, now, he who has 1 to 1,000 ounces of the astrum solis shall also tinge his own body of soul. If you have the astrum of Mercury, in the same manner, you will tinge the whole body of common Mercury. If you have the astrum of Venus, you will, in like manner, tinge the whole body of Venus, and change it into the best metal. These facts have all been proved. The same must also be understood as to the astra of the other planets, as Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Luna, and the rest. For tinctures are also prepared from these, concerning which we now make no mention in this place, because we have already dealt at sufficient length upon them in the book on the nature of things, and in the orthodoxies. So, too, the first entity of metals and terrestrial metals have been made, sufficiently clear for alchemists to enable them to get the alchemist tincture. This work, the tincture of the alchemist, need not be of 1 of 9 months, but quickly, and without any delay, you may go on by the spagyric art of the alchemist, and in the space of 40 days, you can fix this alchemical substance, exalt it, putrefy it, ferment it, coagulate it into a stone, and produce the alchemical phoenix. But it should be noted well that the sulfur of cinnabar becomes the flying eagle, whose wings fly away without wind, and carry the body of the phoenix to the nest of the parent, where it is nourished by the element of fire, and the young ones dig out its eyes, from whence there emerges a whiteness, divided in its sphere, into a sphere and life out of its own heart, but the balsam of its inwards parts, according to the property of the Kabbalists. Here ends the treasure of the alchemists. Annotations and practical applications. Paracelsus's treasure of treasures is thick with allegory and spagyric process. While some passages clearly describe mineral operations, they also serve as mirrors for inner transformation. This elite mind manifest companion distills both Paracelsus's imagery and later commentaries into principles you can use today. Practical applications from Paracelsus' text. Number 1. The mineral with 3 principles. Every mineral contains mercury, sulfur, and mineral water. Application. See these in yourself. Mercury, fluid mind, adaptability, imagination. Sulfur, fire of desire, willpower, passion. Mineral water, emotional depth, intuition, the soul's reservoir. Reflect. Which is strongest in you today, and which needs refining? Number 2. The red lion, solar oil, aurum portabile. Symbol of fiery essence, exalted in Sweden. Application. Treat this as your inner vital energy. Discipline turns raw drive into creative force. Each time you transmute anger, lust, or chaos into purpose, you are working with your red lion. Number 3. The green lion, vitriol of Venus. The green lion devours the sun, dissolving what is impure to reveal gold. Application. See this as the power of renewal and digestion. Mentally, emotionally, physically. Journaling, fasting, meditation, or shadow work can act as your green lion, dissolving toxins into clarity. Number 4. Putrefaction and fermentation. Stages of decay and renewal. The death of substances before rebirth. Application. Endings, failures, or loss are forms of putrefaction. Accept them as dissolutions that prepare the ferment of a new identity. Number 5. The 40-day work. Paracelsus notes that the phoenix can be produced in 40 days with spagyric art. Application. Adopt a 40-day discipline, whether that be fasting, study, or creative focus. Great change requires intensity within a cycle. Number 6. The sign. The sign is proof of real work, the mark left by a true operation. Application. In life, do not chase appearances, seek results. A habit broken, a goal achieved, these are your signs. Let your work speak. Number 7. The astrum of the elements. Earth, water, air, and fire each have a hidden guiding star, astrum. Man, as microcosm, contains 4 within himself. Application. Master your inner astro. Earth, body, endurance. Water, emotions, flow. Air, thought, perception. Fire, will, passion. Balance brings harmony. Imbalance brings ruin. Number 8. Aurum portabile. The threefold gold. Aurum portabile. Gold made drinkable by mixture. Oil of gold. Essence extracted without addition. Quintessence of gold. The redness or spark of gold itself. Application. Assimilation comes in stages. First, mix wisdom with other influences. Next, extract its essence. Finally, separate its spark until it becomes your own. Number 9. The balsam of life. All things contain a subtle balsam, the preservative that guards against decay. Application. This is your life force. Guard it fiercely through clean living, strong will, and aligned purpose. Every action either strengthens or depletes it. Number 10. The lost transmutation. A hinted but missing treatise on transmutation survives in principle. The shift of weight and substance. Application. Practice daily transmutation. Shift anger into strength, sorrow into death, failure into resolve. The true alchemist converts burdens into treasures. Number 11. The phoenix of the Iliaster. The phoenix, the soul of the Iliaster, primal chaos. Reborn in man is the Iliastic soul. Application. Renewal is the law of the work. Every ending hides a spark of rebirth. Rise from each fall purified, as the phoenix rises from the ashes. Closing reflection. For Paracelsus, the laboratory was never separate from the soul. Each mineral operation mirrored an inner one: extraction of essence, separation of pure from impure, recombination to higher unity. The old commentators sought to clarify these mysteries. Here, we synthesize their notes into living principles. Approach the treasure of treasures not as a relic, but as a working manual. Its lions, balsam, signs, and phoenix are not only symbols of matter, but mirrors of your own transformation. Read, reflect, apply, and distill from its pages the tincture of your own becoming.